Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey, thanks for joining us on today's car. You know, if you're ever one of those people that love the looks of like 40s and 50s vintage cars, but didn't love the drivability of them, or remember how much greater today's modern car is, this car could easily fit into the change of life for you. And I say that to you because, first off, this is one great looking car. The color itself is spectacular. It's a 46 Ford Cabriolet convertible, but it has some really, really nice updates inside of it. And as we walk around and get to see some of that stuff, you're gonna say, wow, I had no idea, because really I remember as a kid riding around these cars and they were like big old tanky cars that just didn't drive very well. This car is not like that at all. So come on up and check out this paint first off to start with. This is very important. As you're on the internet, there's a little dust right there. As you're on the internet looking at cars, this right here shows you how crystal clear a car is. Look at this, how you can see like the time. You can see the secondhand sweeping. This is the kind of paint you should be looking for when you're buying a car of this magnitude, not just pictures. Because I buy cars in pictures all the time, and the truth of the matter is, when you see these cars in pictures, they look great, they show up here, and it is not the case. So if you're looking at stuff, you need to be able to see the guy's name on his shirt, or what brand camera it is, or anything like that to give you high definition. And that's why we provide you with high definition photos and a high definition video to do this right here. Make sure that you can make a decision. That's why almost 80% of all the cars that we move out of here, the people never come and even have to show up to see them, because they're getting all the information. They know that we've kind of gone through the cars front to back and made sure like all that little stuff is working. You wouldn't believe, you know, 40 and 50 years later, things like turn signals or high beams or the dash, all kinds of things like that just don't work anymore. And in this case here, we make sure that as you drive this car, that you get all those nice safety accoutrements. So come on up here for a second. Here's some stuff here that for sure that these cars didn't have. They definitely didn't have 15-inch wheels back then, but they also didn't have modern radial tires either. This has modern radial tires, upgraded wheels, and it's got power disc brakes inside there, which is really, really a nice feature. Old drum brakes were good, but they weren't good the second, third, and fourth time if you had to stop fast and hard a few times. And this really made a big difference in the drivability of cars. All right? Okay, so the fit and finish on here, really, really nice. All new chrome and stainless. All the items have been polished. There's a couple small touches and features in here that have made this car a little bit of a custom. For instance, like the French antenna right there. Tail lights here, they've been buried inside the body, and they're LED. Matter of fact, we should probably turn those on. And Justin normally tells me to turn on the lights, but in this case here, he did not. All right, now that the lights are on, you can see when they're recessed how great this car looks. It's got polished tips from behind. It's just a really nice feature of the car. You move around. One of the things I like to show about is if we could look underneath the car for a second too. All been restored under here. The frame is in great shape. It's been all taken apart and painted. The exhaust system goes through the frame like it's supposed to. It's got the big rear end in it. Dual exhaust, it flows really well. And this right here, this is kind of cool. It's got that third brake light built into the car where, you know, you obviously wouldn't have had that back in the day, but it's just another nice little feature about this car that makes it so different and so unique, and to make the drivability even better. This is kind of cool too. It has a trunk popper up front, and then this right here. This is nice because you got all the detail here. This, and then right here, I'm going to show you up in here, is everything's kind of hidden and out of the way. Not that you're going to need to get in here very often, but all the insulation, wiring, battery, all that stuff. You can see how everything is new in there. It's all put together nicely. Big heavy duty wiring too. Supposed to be buried right there. All right. Okay, so come on in and we'll check out in here. So we have an upgraded GM crate engine in here with aluminum heads, making around 350 horsepower, air conditioning, braided lines. We talked about the disc brakes. Well, it has power disc brakes, has a ceramic coated exhaust here, which is really nice. It'll keep it from rusting. Also has power steering. You know, these are all the things that we forget to ask about. This radiator right here, very expensive because it's custom built for this area right here with a fan shroud to get some fresh air to it, because the last thing you want to be doing is cruising this car in the middle of the summer with the air conditioning on or something like that and start to overheat. And you can see the massive size of it here will keep all that from happening. okay? So, you know, with the modern convenience of the air conditioning, the power steering and things like that, and plus there's a lot of room in there to work on this car, which makes it really nice. And plus the fact that it's restored, there's not all the greasy, dirty stuff. And when you open the hood and you go to a car show, it looks really good. What I wanted to talk about this car here is the fact that, you know, this is a roomy car. Look at this. You could take another couple out. You can put 3 kids back here. This is one of those cars where you could go to dinner, man, and like you pull up and like they push the Porsche and the Mercedes out of the way and they put this car out front because this thing is just screaming style and it's all so cool and it's all modern and things like that. So as we walk around, we're looking at some of those cool features. Sorry I get so excited about it, but I just do. I mean, you're talking about, like, check this out. You got power seats. It's got lumbar in there. It's got power windows. And here, the CD changer, okay? Then there's another console here for more storage. It's got wheel locks on it. Here's the wheel lock key, okay? It's got this right here, and not that I would ever condone putting a margarita in here, but a margarita potentially could fit in here. Of course, you would be parked somewhere and you would never drive the vehicle ever again after the margarita soiled this area, but if you did, it might fit in there nicely. Or I think it's a Bud Light or a glass of wine or just a nice Diet Coke too. All that stuff seems to fit just fine. Okay, so you got this right here. The stereo is hidden, all right? And it comes with a remote control. And then there's, in here, a little more storage for what we people like to do is, because nobody knows that this opens, that they just want to tuck some stuff in there. All right, so as you move around the car here, you know, some of the detail stuff like this right here. The tilt wheel is really nice to have. This billet wheel with the matching half wrap. This is leather. The other half is billet on this side, so that's why they call it that half wrap. The sound system here, kind of a vintage looking gauge, but it's a full array of gauges, which is really nice. You get your speedometer, and most of this stuff is electronic anyway. Oil pressure, water temperature, fuel gauge, volts. So you're getting really this, you know, this modern interpretation of a great styled vehicle. And these can be very expensive to restore, so getting one that's already done is really the only way to do it. Even the clock works. But look how nicely the air conditioning vents have been put inside the car, and the air conditioning controls are right here. You can hear them. You got AC, you got heat, you got defroster, you got all that stuff, and it works really nice. And it's very modern style too. This is not old style air conditioning and heat. It's modern, fresh unit that's been done. Anyway, I think that just one of those cool cars. Check out the windshield, the way it's split and put together like that, the way it was back in the day, and the way the trim's all painted. It's just a cool car. And you sit in here, it's just so comfortable, and it just runs and drives so well. But how about I fire it up for you? One of the things I wanted to talk about too is the fact that even with the top up, and don't forget you have power windows as well, so that's easy to make all that transition happen really quickly. But what I wanted to say was the tan interior with the blue, as we talked about earlier, is just so rich looking. But walk with me for a second, because I want you to see how well the top is built. Not only that, but at the fit and finish. And this right here, which is a really nice feature. Glass rear windows, so you don't have to worry about that yellowing or cracking. This beautiful chrome surround here. Got the beading in place, and just, I don't know. To me, it says just very classic, very American, and reminds you of a very different time in the world. You know, in closing up the video on this car, the indigo paint on this with the tan leather and the tan top just looks so rich. I think that once you throw in the power disc brakes and the air conditioning, the power seats, the leather interior, the tilt wheel, the upgraded sound system and things like that, this is one really, really fun car, and can be used all year long too, as well as go on a nice road trip, take to dinner, take some friends out, take the family out, take it to the beach, whatever it is you want to do. It's just a cool piece, and it has some really nice modern conveniences. So if you ever wanted to get you know, a car of this nature, especially one of these Ford Cabriolets, they're usually very, very expensive. And as a matter of fact, that sounds like somebody calling right now who may buy it before you. But if they don't, call us 301-816-1000 and we'll tell you all about it.